Hello, everybody. It is Georgia here, Cosmic Heart Space, and I'm here to really speak on the crystalline consciousness and specifically on the Lemurian Way Crystal Consciousness initiation ceremony that is happening on the 26th of this month, April, 8 p.m. UK time. I'm holding this space because I have been moving through this beautiful, transformative period of time that we all have been moving through. But one thing that has been really prominent within my journey has been the information and understandings and teachings that have come through the Lemurian lifetimes that I have experienced through my remembrance, and how they're assisting me to understand what it is that I'm doing now in this lifetime. And it goes broader than that. There are other lifetimes where I'm in other dimensions and realms where I am able to understand the codes of the quantum field, understanding the divine source and how it works through us, and how we can use this information to live with higher resonance within our field. And by higher, we mean that octave of vibrational resonance is vibrating a lot quicker and a faster pace, which allows us to elevate and expand our awareness of the field that we are resonating in, because it's like we're resonating at a certain vibration, this physical body, which then we can see, and then if we can then expand that awareness through understanding the vibrational resonance of that, so we can raise the octave of awareness that is, say, here, and it expands out, and we start to see more of that we exist in within our own field. This is all within us. And so I'm going to be explaining this in the ceremony. I'm going to be going through explanations on how we can work with this frequency and use it in our daily lives, and how this was done in Lemuria, and it's also done in different periods of time, even in Egyptian times, and during the Vedic periods. There's lots of different cultures in the ancient mystery schools as well that use some of these potent methods of information, of how we hold information within our physical field and how we actually work with the energetic DNA. And we can do this in a really healthy way so that we can have more understanding and sovereignty over what is happening. As many of us are aware, that some of our information that we're holding within our field is programming that makes us believe and think and feel that we have a limited access to information, or a limited access to the ability to do certain things in this reality. We may have picked this up just from childhood, where it's that we was told that we couldn't have something because our parents couldn't afford it. But it could go a lot deeper than that. Where has that rooted from? These things go back into our ancestral lineage and into the collective wounding that is holding within all of our genetics. And that's why we have to work to rewrite that and rescript it. And we can rescript it with other things, and what a lot of us have been doing in the more normal sense of things. I say normal of replacing it with one condition with another condition, or another program of say I do have money, and being comfortable with money, for instance, because that's like a really big one that everyone works through is financials, and maybe even weight and things like that. They're like the really common things, aren't they, that people really try to reprogram within themselves, reprogramming a lot of things that happened to them as a child that stopped them, being capable of certain stuff in their everyday life. However, where I'm taking this, the understanding of what we're going with the crystalline consciousness, is that we're truly starting to understand us. So we've done all that, all right, and we're now starting to truly understand that we are beyond this human experience, and we can bring in this human experience magical, mystical abilities. speaking our soul language is one of those things that help us to recreate the fabrics of our creation, of our blueprint, of our own information. I see everything as sacred geometrics. It's like our whole field is, everything is, and it's all that sacred geometrics are created through vibrational sound resonance, and it creates the patterns. That's what creates the patterns, and that's why light language, or these sacred sound vibrations, are so important at this time, because they are re-scripting those low vibrational narratives, or the narratives that are limiting or restrictive to the expansion of our awareness and our abilities to move between the realms, have communication between the realms in such a way that, where we're moving into, we will have, something that we just can't tangibly see at this time. And I think a lot of people have almost not been completely trusting or fully committing to this understanding that some of the things that we are practicing, shall we say now, has such a greater, more expansive, like important, I want to say, the important sort of role that it plays in this evolution that we're having. So we're going to be understanding and unpacking a lot of that, and unpacking on how it works with the certain modalities, because essentially I'm going to be then holding a 3-week ceremony. So it'll be 3 initial Zoom calls, and I'll be taking people through the practices, and then during the weeks you'll be having practices throughout that time. But I really want to, just because it's such a it's such a different way of experiencing things, understanding things that is happening, going on. I feel like I want to give people a really good understanding of what it is, even in the mind level, because your heart might be going, yes, this feels, it just seems right to me. This is something that my soul wants to do and understand and unlock, and I want to experience this. But then there's the doubt, the human doubt comes in and goes, but why? What's it going to do for me? How is this going to even work? Or, sometimes people even have sessions, or they'll do certain things. They go, it hasn't really done anything. What is it really doing? I'm still not like flying and, communicating with all these different beings or something like that. And it's like, these are seeds of creation that are blossoming and blooming within us. And it takes this period of integration and movement and notion, and also the practice. Like, we have to consciously practice in holding the intentions of these particular frequencies to help to amplify it, because we can look at these beautiful mandalas and codes and images, and we will see them and it will have some effect. But it's like this motion of having to keep on, we practice it, it becomes more vibrationally patterned within our field, so that we can then start to hold that frequency and resonance, because it can come in and it can come out, it can come in, come out. Like, lots of people talk about, and they'll message me as well saying like, oh, I've been having all these amazing downloads, all this amazing stuff's coming in, and now I'm feeling kind of whack, I'm not feeling so good. And it's like, it's an integration process. You've just had this amazing high vibrational energy. It's like a massive serotonin hit, and then boom, you've got to come back to this reality, and you have to integrate that in with what you're already existing. So looking at ways that we can hold this vibration, and that's exactly what the 3-week ceremony is going to be about. That will be about really integrating this information, how to integrate the codes from the mandalas, the codes from the sound transmissions, because that to me is what's so, so important. I've been going to lots of different ceremonies and doing lots of deep inner work and healing work, and what I've really come to find is that all of that is amazing. It transforms, it moves things out, and it's only once I step out of that then the work starts to happen, then the healing starts to happen. But it takes me having to be consciously aware of it, and really honing in on on that healing that needs to happen, that integration with that, whatever came up in that experience. Otherwise, I could go back to whatever happened before I released. It's almost like it can come back in, because it's like, hang on a minute. It's like the universe comes in and goes, hang on a minute, you didn't learn from that at all, because you're still doing the thing. We just told you what it was and how to release it, and you've gone back into the world and you're still doing it. It's like, that's totally contradicting the experience. You're going to have it back. You're going to have to do it again. But at least that time round, you can notice it a little bit more, right? So it does get easier, but we can have tools and modalities to hold these frequencies. And I want to also emphasize that this is a really playful way of doing this. So, we are going to be doing things like movement and dance, drawing and artwork, sounding and toning, and things like that, that we're going to bring through all the different ways that we can express in our creativity. So we're going to be breaking down those layers as well of how people feel about doing some of those things, because we have, again, limiting beliefs that we have a capability of doing this and that so and so is good at that, I'm not. That's for them, not for me, And this is about expressing it in a way that is going to be unique to you and how you are born and here to express. And I feel, from what I understand in my own perception of reality, is that we're all here to express some form of creativity. Nobody is here to just be a robot, unless you are made by a human being to be a robot. But as a being with a soul, you are here to express, you are here to be, you are here to emanate and alleviate yourself from suffering and pain and stagnation through the modalities of creativity and movement, expression of your being. Your soul wants to express itself through this vessel. It doesn't want to just walk in a linear line and stay that way and do those normal mundane things of sitting at a desk and getting up out of bed and maybe doing some exercise and eating some food, having a nice conversation, watching some TV. They want to expand beyond that. All souls want to go beyond that, really. So we have to look at ways that we really want to work and finding what works for the soul. So it's not going to be the same for everyone, and that's why I'm creating something that's going to help to bring about a transformation in a way that people can find what works for them in that space through their own unique expression, rather than me trying to tell you this is the way and this is the only way and that's going to happen through this exact notion and motion. We're going to just explore different ones, and then people can kind of feel into that and start to learn through their inner standing, rather than there's not going to be like a telling and teaching in that sense. I'm going to be guiding, holding that space, because that's what I do best. I hold space for people to feel safe, to feel secure, to feel supported. There's no judgment. It's completely in a space of pure love. It's pure, unconditional, divine love space, a sacred space for that to happen, that to transform, for those emotions and whatever needs to come up, to be seen, to be nurtured and be loved. And then we can start to really see our true essence underneath it all, because we all hold that true divine essence. It's all within everybody. But it's taking that initiative into it and accepting the space to be, accepting the love, accepting that we are here to be loved and to be the love. So with that all being said, I hope that I have covered enough of what we're going to be really starting to understand and learn and express and feel. It is honestly my greatest excitement at this time to be sharing this. I've been honing this in and this understanding of myself and my purpose and my mission and how me and my collective, my team, my family, my multidimensional family, how we're going to be truly bringing something through that's going to really support people through this process at this time, because it's so important, and there's so much seriousness and fear and scarcity in the world that it needs to be eliminated in a way through joy. Doing it with more fear, with more anger, it just repels and creates more of that. So when we are in a pure space of joy, the expansion can happen. It just really clears and it opens up so much for everybody. Yanana sumora shananaiti arana morkotaraya sanamarupuru saneti arana sanar usuntukum narakanasa. You're all very beautiful. Shanaruto ganariana sunurumo sunkoriana sanakurumo sunkoro irananaria sunumuru ania shanaru nusum naria sananaru sunoro yashini arakotorama sankrayo sunkoriana sanamo Nira shanaro sonoriana shan sanaria sunto sanaria sam Nuru sanario sum nuru shanarian sanaria sum Nariana sum moro sum Maria Maria sonoru sumo sono 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 sum. My guides are showing me a rose, which is a symbol I often see. And they're just asking for you to see this rose in all of its glory and its colors and its shapes. This is a quantum rose that comes to you as a gift. This gift is you, it's a part of you, it's who you are. As you see the rose and you gaze at its beauty, you say all the nice, wonderful things about it. Just think about all of the things that you would say and think and feel about a rose if you came to it. The smell, the texture, the colours. You'd see it and show so much appreciation and love and gratitude for this rose. And they're asking you to look at yourself as though you are this rose. And all those feelings, those kind thoughts have gone into the rose. And you can place that now in your heart. Imagine the rose coming into the heart space. And it melts and it dissolves like sparkling light glistening through your body. Sparkling light glistening through your body. Sparkling light glistening through your body. All those kind, loving thoughts, the gratitude and the thanks you have for that rose is now moving throughout your whole system. There's transmission happening here, frequencies moving through the field. Just allow if it feels right. Ya daw. Tayo na mahashimota ya. Ani no shanar. We're very happy and joyful and so much love. So thank you for partaking and listening into this video and transmission. We hope that you receive what is needed for your highest and greatest good. And we really divinely look forward to being in this very special ceremony with you all on the 26th of April. Yes. Thank you. Please do reach out to communicate through the emails or Instagram if you would like to ask questions about this space and the space that is going to be happening in May, the 3-week. If you just want to understand more about that before the ceremony, you're also welcome, or any other inquiries. Remember that I am here in divine service. For this channeling, this vessel to be a divine vessel, for these frequencies to pass through everybody to receive the divine loving light. Thank you. And namaste.